Hey guys, Game Master here, and today we're going to be doing my orcust mitsurugi deck profile. I feel like this hybrid version of the deck is the best version of the deck, as it can play through so many different hand traps and not get affected by it. Now, as saw at the latest YCS in Pittsburgh, the Mitsu player bricked twice. And so I just feel like this version of the deck is a lot better than everything else that's being played, like with the Mitsu engine. Without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, shall we? We'll start off with the Orcust engine. I play 3 copies of Gearsu the Orcust Met Knight. On normal or special summon, it has an effect to send one Orcust or World Legacy card from the deck to the graveyard. This is relevant because it starts your Orcust engine off. But also, it also baits out Ash Blossom. It also baits out Infinite Impermanence, which has died off a little bit lately. It also has a secondary effect where if it's the only card on the field, it gives both you and your opponent a token. So your opponent can't Mulcharm you, they can't Imperm you from the hand. They can still Dominus you, but why waste a Dominus Impulse on a Orcust Met Knight summoning a token? And unless you've got a trap card in the graveyard already, basically you've just wasted a hand trap on a summon of a token. And then the third effect, if it's summoned to a zone where there's multiple cards in that column, it becomes a tuner for the turn, but that effect never comes up. You want to see Gears of the Orcust Met Knight as much as possible, so you max out at 3 copies. I then play 3 copies of Orcust Harp Horror. Because we got the new Link 1 in the Battles of Legend set, this becomes a 1-card starter, so you can normal summon it, link it off into the Link 1, and then you've got him in graveyard to activate the effect to summon from the deck. Now, this used to be your opponent's Ash target, but because of how the game's evolved, like over the last, since Orcust have come out, hitting this with Ash Blossom just seems very bad. So, if you've got it in graveyard, you can banish it to summon a monster from the deck. I then play 2 copies of Orcust Symbol Skeleton. Orcust Symbol Skeleton, people say it's a 1-card starter that you need to play 3. I was seeing it too much and it wasn't doing enough to get to the actual end board that you want to be getting to. So playing 2 is the perfect ratio. So, and it's also effect, you banish it to reborn one of your Orcust cards from the graveyard. But all the Orcust cards have got the effect where they lock you into dark. So a lot of the extra deck, you're not going to see like the Nightmare package anymore. Well, we can't play Mermaid still, as it's still banned, but you don't need Nightmare Mermaid anymore. And then I play the 1 copy of Orcust Nightmare. It basically Foolish Burial, so you banish it, you Foolish Burial, and basically that targeted monster that you targeted gains attack, but times 100 to the level of the monster that you send. And then the final card that I play is, well, orcust / World Legacy card. Is one World Crown. It's a negate of a extra monster effect, which you can now search because of the link one. I then played the one copy of Orchestrate Babel and the one Orcust Crescendo. Makes all your Orcust effects quick effects, and then also Orcust Crescendo. As long as you've got a link monster, it's basically an omni. You can activate it to negate anything and banish it. And then the final Orcust card that I play is Foolish Burial. It's basically just dump something, dump one of your Orcust cards that you need in your graveyard, and basically continue playing from there. That's all the Orcust cards that I play. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards. Onto the Mitsurugi package. I play 3 Habikiri. Habikiri, you reveal it from your hand to special summon one monster from the deck. Then you tribute one card you control. So basically you would reveal this, summon one of the smaller guys, get an effect from there. It depends on what you've got in your hand. And then also basically all monsters on the field loses 800 attack and it stacks. So if you've got 2 on the, they're losing 16. If they've got 3, they're losing 24. So basically they turn your opponent's monsters into weenies. And then if it's tributed, you get to search a Mitsurugi card. So very, very good card for you to play, and you need 3 of it. You then play 1 Murakumo. Murakumo is basically, if it's normal or special, if it's special summoned, you can basically unsummon, nuke your opponent's board. It's a Raigeki on either your turn or your opponent's turn. Also, it's a negate that basically your opponent has to discard a card to allow their card to go through. So it's a pseudo negate. And then also, if it's tributed, all of the rituals have got effects where they can, when they're tributed, they search cards and then bring themselves back from the graveyard. So you don't want to be Nibiruing if your opponent's got just these 2 on the board. Because if you Nibiru them, they're going to go to the graveyard, then bring themselves back. So you basically give them a token, but they basically just brought themselves back for free. I then play 1 Sagi. Sagi on normal, special or tribute summon. When it's tributed, it searches your ritual spell or any ritual spell or any Mitsurugi spell or trap card from your deck. Mainly you're going to be searching Mitsurugi Ritual. 1 Aramasa on normal, special or when it's tributed. You get to search a ritual, one of the Mitsurugi monsters from your deck. And then Kusanagi, it basically says on normal, special or tributed, you're allowed to add 1 Mitsurugi card from the graveyard back to your hand. So this is one of the ways that you get to use Mitsurugi Ritual multiple times in a turn. Onto the Mitsurugi spells, and there's only 4. 3 prayers and the 1 Mitsurugi ritual. So you can quick effect activate it's in your turn. You can tribute a card, a reptile, and then apply both effects. You can add a card from your deck, a Mitsurugi card, and then special summon 1, but it can't attack. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to be special summoning one of the smaller guys to bring this back from the graveyard, Kusanagi. Then you're going to be using those cards as link material to go climb higher. And then because you tributed one of the big guys, you can search and then special summon. But because of the fact that you've only got the small Mitsurugi package, you're not really going to be special summoning many times. But you're not going to be special summoning the Mitsurugi card, Mitsurugi, because it's a search and then special summon it. You can't just say you're not going to search. And then ritual. Basically, this card allows you to ritual summon by tributing monsters from the deck to summon a monster from the hand, and then you tribute 1 monster that you control or in your hand to summon 1 from the deck. Onto the hand traps, and there's quite a few. I'm playing Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in the main deck, because of the fact there's so many cards in the game right now that allows you to add cards from the graveyard back to your hand, allow cards. So basically, this card just says no. And in my opinion, this card is better than Ash at the moment. I play 3 more Charming Fua. Fua allows you to draw cards, so it allows you to see your side deck, but also it's here to allow you to get to basically turn to your opponent's turn off, so they're not going to summon, they're not going to set up so basically it's a worse off maxi, but it doesn't stop every special summon. I also main deck Droll and Lockbird. Now, a lot of people are saying that Droll should be banned. In my opinion, it's not that. It's a strong card, don't get me wrong, but it's not ban worthy. It slows the game down to a pace where you've got to think, does he have Droll to, like, say for instance Branded, they can search for up to 10, 11 times in a turn. This deck can search, like, what, 5, 6 times. Now, this deck doesn't really, well, the orcust part of the deck doesn't really get affected by Droll. It's the Mitsurugi engine that gets hurt by the Droll and Lockbird. Draco Tail as well gets hurt by Droll. I then play 3 Forbidden Droplet. You've got cards in your deck that want to be in the graveyard, so Droplet just helps you break boards going second. I then play 3 Dominus Impulse. And the final card I play is Triple Tactics Talent. Impulse just says no to special summons if you activate it from the hand, and then you can't use certain attributes. But 9 times out of 10, the cards that you're going to be using before are going to be used before your opponent can special summon. So, and then talents, it's a good board breaker. It's good to draw 2 cards to dig deeper, or it's good going first to look at your opponent's hand, get rid of one of their main cards, like, or a card that may stop you in your turn, continuing your turn, and then basically, wait. It means that either I've got rid of their starter or I've got rid of their card that will allow me to stop comboing. 40 card main deck. Onto the extra deck. We'll start off with the links. I play 2 copies of Galatea Eye. So when she's linked, you can activate this effect when she's on the field. Discard a card to search for a World Legacy card or one orchestrated babble from your deck. So you can search both the cards. I then play 2 Galatea. Galatea basically allows you to return orcust cards from, banished cards back to your deck, and either set the babble or the crescendo, so you ended on both. I play 1 long gear, so now a lot of people are saying a lot of people are cutting this. I think it's still quite necessary because it helps you break a board, because you can summon it into one of their zones, look at one of the cards, which one's going to be more problematic, send it to the graveyard by shuffling 2 darks back to the darks, and then link into the new link 4. And then the link 4 and then gear. So as long as you've got the field spell or babble, you can basically target one of your banished cards, add it back to your hand. So there is a combo where you can add. There is a combo where you can use the babble crescendo to banish to search a card. Use this effect to add the crescendo back, so you've got another crescendo live, activation live. So you can recycle your crescendo if you need to, and you can also, because it doesn't have to be the card that you added back to your hand. It can be any card from your hand that can go back to your deck. And then it can permanently take control of one of your opponent's monsters. So the one Enling Gearsu. I play 1 IP Masquerena and the 1 SP Little Knight. You can't play one without the other. So IP into SP in your opponent's turn to, because you've used an extra monster, a link monster, you can unsummon, you can just banish something. I've used IP and my opponent's monster that I've just sold with Enling Gearsu to go into SP to banish something that their next play. I then play the 1 Dynamundo. Again, you can take this out. I don't think this card is 100% necessary, but you can if you've made this and you've got the rituals in grave, tribute this to nuke your opponent's board. It's pretty good, and I think running 1 is it's not mandatory, but it's another interruption that your opponent has to worry about. I then play the one dark, the one nightmare unicorn, and then one bowl sword. Nightmare unicorn is in here just to link climbing and to get cards out of the hand. Now, people are saying, why don't we use access code talker in the orcust group that I'm a part of? And the reason why we don't play access code talker is because of the fact that we'd probably get maybe 2 pops from the, and that's if you got Dynamundo in the graveyard as well. Bowl sword just helps you out the Liger Dancers for Lunar Lights a lot easier. So I think bowl sword is the better option. And then the last 3 cards from the extra deck, I play 1 Typhon, the 1 copy of Zombie Vampire. So if you don't get to if you haven't got access to your Orcust engine, and you've gone through all your Mitsurugi plays, you can make Zombie Vampire, detach a material, Foolish 4, and then special summon one of the Orcust cards. Hopefully you hit one of your Orcust cards. Now, 9 times out of 10, because of the high Orcust count, you're not going to need to go into this. But it's there as an option just in case you need it. And the final card I play is the 1 copy of Dingirsu. You only need the 1 copy, in my opinion, with the fact that you can just keep recycling it. Like, you've got Galatea to recycle it. You've got Galatea. You can banish it to bring special summon the Galatea Eye, and then you can basically use the other Orcust monsters. So you've got your Enlingirsu to put it back to the extra deck. You won't get to take your opponent's monster because you have to return it to the main deck, but you still get to recycle this. Enlingirsu, you can return it to the extra deck and then send a card, and then Galatea to set a spell or trap card. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be using Galatea to return this. It's mainly the Enlingirsu. 15 card extra deck. Now onto the side deck. Now this is subject to change. Now the list, obviously it's subject to change as well, the main deck list. But the extra deck, I don't think I will change anything. So let's go on with the side deck. 3 Nibiru. Your opponent summons 5 or more times. You tribute everything. A pattern and a token. Ash, Blossom and Joyous Spring in the side deck. Now, normally this would be in the main deck, but I feel like at the moment in time, Ghost Bell puts in a lot more work, and so does Droll. So that's the reason why this is inside. Now, I would be playing more copies of the Bestials. So I would be playing more copies of this. Bestial Bulldrake, it tributes something to ban. It tributes one of your monsters. So you will tribute one of the Mitsurugi rituals, or one of the ritual card, the monsters, to banish something, and then you would get to banish one of their cards, and then the mitsurugi would, if you mitsurugi the rituals, they would then search and then special summon something. But that's if you see it early enough. One bestial druid's worm and the one magmut. Obviously, I would like to play more of these, but they're limited. But basically, they're DD crows, but they get more value. I then played the 1 copy each of Wusu and Purification. This is a kaiju, and this is basically an Omni-Negate. I then played 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Now, I'm not 100% certain about this card. Still yet to test it. But Evenly... Yeah, but I think Evenly is going to be good this format. Not tested much of it lately because I haven't really had a chance to play lately because of work. But yeah, Evenly, I think will probably be good this format. Don't quote me on it. And then the final one card I play is Called by the Grave. Now I'm thinking of siding triple tactics and putting this in, but still yet to test whether or not which one is better. That is the deck profile. We will do a test hand to see what and see what we can combo with as well. Opponent cuts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got all 4 orcust combo, but nothing else. So the first thing we'll do is normal summon gear so the orcust Met Knight activate effect. Now, this would be the best time for you to imperm this card, because then it doesn't get the effect to give us both a token. Or this would be the best time to discard through a loss. But we're going to assume our opponent has no effect. So Gisu will send... We will send... Nightmare. Activate effect to give us both a token. So we'll use... We'll use the Cyber Dragon as a token. So we would use the token into the Galatea Eye. Galatea Eye effect, we will discard Symbol Skeleton. Yeah, Symbol Skeleton. To search out the field spell. Now, you can either search out the field spell and end on both field spell plus Omni Negate, or you can search out the World Legacy World Crown. It just depends on what you feel your opponent's going to do. I think Babble is the correct choice because then it turns all your stuff to quick effects. You will then activate the Babble, link the Galatea Gisu and the Galatea Eye into Galatea. You would use the Galatea Eye effect, banish this to summon itself, activate this, shuffle this back, and we'll go into, where is it? Am I really that dense? There it is. You banish the harp, banish this to special summon, well, to foolish. Banish this to bring this out. Overlay these two. Which will then equip this to the that you're on board. We'll use the harp. I made a bit of a misplay, and it's to go into, there it is, that. I've got the harp engraved, which I can now use to spec symbol skeleton. Link 3. Link 4. Set 3. And it's the opponent's turn. So I've got a quick effect steal. I've got a reborn of the Dingisu to, and I've also got a banish to foolish as well. I can return this back to hand, and then shuffle it back to seal one of my monsters. So this is just Orcust engine. You're never going to open both engines and then opponent tries to do something. You got Forbidden Droplet setting. So I've got one of their monsters already because I've So I've got one of their monsters already. They activate surprise, negate. They try to do anything else. Impulse, like surprise. They can special summon, you can negate it. But then you've got harp to summon a creature. Symbol skeleton, again engrave to monster reborn. So basically, just with Orcust engine, there's like what, 6 or 7 interruptions, 5 or 6 interruptions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interruptions. Because this will summon this, which will send a card, which means it's another interruption that they've got to deal with. So your opponent's not really going to be able to play through a lot of this. They might as well just scoop up their cards. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video. Shout out to my Twitch channel, which is GameMaster1991, same as my YouTube channel. I will maybe stream tonight when this video goes up live. I think this afternoon. I'm going to hopefully put this up tonight, so I might stream tonight as well. Hope to see you in the next one. See you soon.